All right, folks, we're going to get started. We're 10 minutes. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? I'm so thin. It's a recession. Thank you all for braving this strange weather to come out here. Some of you from far, some of you not so far. But either way, I appreciate it. I don't do these very often, as you know, because I only want to do this when I think there's real value. Social Security has been an issue that many of you have asked me about. It's been in the news a lot. And so I thought, you know, this is something that warrants holding an event like this, getting someone in here to hear straight from the horse's mouth, so to speak, exactly what's going on. So I don't want to take up more of your time than I have to with stuff that I don't think is absolutely critical. But when I do these types of things, I try to make them high impact. So I'm not going to do a lot of talking today. I'm going to let our speaker do most of the talking. I may prod him or throw him a few, I don't know if it'll be softball questions, but some questions about some stuff. Yeah, I think the Q&A, you guys are probably eager to have a little Q&A here at the end, but I'm going to let him do most of the talking today. A couple of things I want to mention before. Rob, you've heard this stuff, but cover your ears if it makes you cringe. Social Security. Bay Area is a very high cost of living place, so it may not be as true here, but the average retiree gets 40% of their retirement income in the form of Social Security. So Social Security is a huge chunk of a lot of people's retirement income. Okay, so 40% is Social Security. The average benefit is $1,000 a month. So the average person getting Social Security is getting about $1,000. When I talk about those numbers in the Bay Area, people are like, that can't be right. I mean, it cost me $1,000 for gas in my car. But that's how critical Social Security is to the fabric of this country. You go to a lot of parts of this country, it's the only source of income for a lot of people. So it's a very serious issue. For some of you, you know, it may not be life or death, but certainly it's something to be thinking about. But I think for our society in general, it's a real important thing. Why is Social Security in trouble? I think there's one simple reason. In 1950, you had 16 people paying taxes into Social Security for every one person that was getting benefit. So you had 16 taxpayers for one recipient. Today, you've got 3 taxpayers for one recipient. So back then, it was pretty easy to collect enough money to pay out benefits to people for quite a long time. Not so much now. And I saw an interesting number between Social Security, disability income. There are 54 million Americans receiving some form of Social Security benefit right now. That's 1 out of every 5 people in this country gets something from Social Security today. This year is the second year, not in history, but I think at least in the last few decades, that Social Security has run a deficit. This year, Social Security is going to pay out $45 billion more than they get in. $45 billion. The most recent estimates, and there are a variety of them, but I think the most widely quoted is that Social Security is going to run out of money if we keep going like this in 2037, which sounds a long ways away, but it's not. I think that's probably pretty close to when I'm supposed to be retiring, or in my prime of getting my Social Security, so certainly for me it's a concern. So the key question now is, do you make huge changes to it in 20 or 30 years when we hit the wall, or do you start to tinker with it today? So for those of you who are thinking, well, 2037, I may not be around to see that happen, so that's not a big concern. Well, the concern is going to be that I kind of doubt, and I hope, that they don't let it go until 2037 to start fixing it. They may start fixing it now. And how might that look? What kind of options are on the table? I think that's a real important thing to take a look at. So today I'm going to introduce our speaker, and then I'm going to get out of the way. Rob Pepper. Rob, he's the Bay Area Public Affairs Specialist for the Social Security Administration. He provides outreach to the public about Social Security programs, policies, and services. He began his career in the Peace Corps, which I thought was interesting, but the second piece of information I thought was even more interesting. He began working for Social Security in 1979. Back when it was solved. So he's been there over 30 years. So I think if anybody knows about what's happening at Social Security, it's probably this fellow. So, Rob, go ahead. Thanks.
so you can all hear? Okay? You'll be okay. That's one of my issues is hearing. As time goes on, you find out you hear less and less. So I actually had a condition that they call Meniere's disease, and I lost about 60% in the left ear. So now I can still hear, and they say a hearing aid won't help, but if a person asks a question, I don't know where the question's coming from. So if you wouldn't mind putting a little hand up when you have a question, because that way I'll be able to know who's asking the question. I am a representative of Social Security, so I'm not endorsing any product or services. I strictly come from the Social Security Administration to give you the information on Social Security as it stands now. Kevin did give you some good background, talked a little bit about the financing of Social Security. Everything he said was pretty much appropriate as we see it today. One thing that we go on beyond that is to say approximately by 2050, remember we said there's about 3-to-1 now ratio of people paying into it versus receiving benefits. By 2050, they think it's going to be about 2.2. So again, less people paying into the program, more people receiving benefits.
Let me actually pause for a second. I'm going to try to turn these lights up so you guys can see the screen a little better. If you guys have seen that Affleck, or no, what is it, the Geico commercial, where you start hitting buttons and things start going wild. Let's hope I don't do that, but it's a little bit too bright in here to see what's going on. So let me see real quick if I can, you know what? Better leave well enough alone. Can you guys see that okay?
Perfect.
It's okay. All right, perfect. Thank you.
Okay. So what I wanted to do is give you kind of a brief overview of the program, the Social Security program, give you some information about, about Social Security as it is today. I can only tell you the way it is today. Any changes that occur, I don't think will affect anyone that's at least age 50 or older. So if they do make changes and you're in line to receive your Social Security benefit, if Congress does decide that things need to be changed, I don't think it would affect anybody who's at least age 50 now. It'll probably affecting younger people. So again, we're going to give you some information on Social Security as it is today. Kevin mentioned 54 million people. I think that's a little bit more accurate because now we have the baby boomers retiring, a large group of people, and we also have a lot of people who weren't anticipating retiring, but they've lost their jobs, and so they're filing for Social Security benefits if they're eligible. We also have a larger segment of our population that's now filing for disability benefits. So we like to point out that Social Security is more than just a retirement program. When you pay your Social Security taxes, you're also paying in the disability and the survivor program. So retirement's by far our largest program. It's probably about 34 million people now receiving Social Security retirement benefits. Disability, again, the next largest program, and we'll briefly mention disability. And then we have a real important program that a lot of people aren't aware of is the Survivors Program. So we're able to pay widows and widowers and their dependents. So that's another benefit from Social Security. So when you pay into your Social Security program, when you make those Social Security contributions, you have to be aware that you're paying into a social insurance package. You're not just paying into a retirement program. Again, as you mentioned, 40% of your income probably will come from Social Security once you retire. So you need to have other sources of income in order to supplement your Social Security. Social Security is actually a weighted program, so it pays more to low-income wage earners than people who have always paid in the maximum into the program. The replacement rate for someone who has always been low income during their working career, they'll probably see about 60% of their income coming from Social Security in their retirement years. Someone who always paid the maximum will probably only see about 25 to 30% maybe, coming from Social Security. Now, we used to use the analogy of a three-legged stool, so you had your Social Security benefit one leg, the pensions and savings were supposed to be the other two legs. Well, when I started with Social Security about 30 years ago, almost 80% of people retired and had some kind of pension plan or retirement plan, some kind of company benefit in place. Now companies are paying pensions on about 15% of the companies out there. And we still have some government pensions that you know, people are paying. You've heard a lot about that in the news lately, especially with the California situation that we're in now. But there are not a lot of pensions out there anymore, so more people are being required to provide for themselves in their retirement year. So you do have the 401k programs that you can invest in. There's also IRAs. Some people tell me they like to work after they retire. You can definitely do that. There's you can do some part-time work or some consulting. And again, there are a lot of insurance programs and investment programs out there that you can pay into to help supplement your income, you know, so that you're able to fund your retirement program. Estimates of how much you need in order to fund your retirement program can really be anywhere from 70 to 85% is kind of the norm. I've heard retirement planners and financial planners say you probably need about 100% of your income in order to have a comfortable retirement. So, you know, again, it all depends. Social Security has tried to be a little bit more friendly in providing people with information. So about 16 years ago, we started sending out statements in the mail to you. They should come to you 2 to 3 months before your birthday. They give you an estimate of your benefits at 62, at full retirement age. They also mention things like how much your survivors get, or how much you could get under disability, how much you could get at age 70. So it's a good thing to look over. You know, it helps you plan for your retirement. It gives you some good information. We have some things that supplement the information that's on there now, and one of the things is called the Retirement Estimator. It's a real valuable tool that's located on our website, and what's good about this is that you can put in different types of information that we don't have with Social Security. And in order to use it, I will show you later where you can find it on the website. But all you need is your name, your Social Security number, your date of birth, place of birth, and mother's maiden name. With that information, we have enough, you know, information to associate you with your earnings record. Then you can pick once you get your record up there, you can pick different dates of retirement. So let's say you're not going to work until age 62. You're only going to work till 55. So you can say, well, I'm going to stop work at 55. Make no additional contributions, and then take my Social Security at 62. It'll give you a more accurate estimate. Or maybe you're going to work until 62 and then retire from your job and not take your Social Security. You're going to wait until your full retirement age. So you put 0 earnings from 62 to 66 when you want to start collecting benefits. So that you can put 2 or 3 different scenarios in there in order to find out and get a more accurate estimate of what your benefits will be when you do think about retiring. So it's a really good tool. It's really one of our most popular tools available on the website. There are some more detailed calculators that you can use, but for those calculators you need to have that earnings statement that we send you in the mail. So you have to have that available to enter your earnings in on a year-by-year basis. But that way you can pick a month and year that you want to retire, and you can also put in future earnings that you expect to have. The earliest anyone can collect Social Security, and that's kind of the #1 thing people want to know, is when can I start? I've been paying into it all my life. When can I finally start collecting my benefits? Well, the earliest you can get it for Social Security purposes is age 62. You have to be age 62 in order to start collecting. In order to receive some kind of benefit from Social Security, you have to have what we call Social Security credits. And the way you earn your Social Security credits is by work as an employee or a self-employed person. So this year in 2011, if you can have $1,120 worth of earnings, that gives you 1 credit toward a Social Security benefit. If during the year you can earn $4,480, that would give you 4 credits toward a benefit. Now, even if you earn $100,000, you still get just 4 credits for the year. So the maximum you can get in any 1 year are 4. As long as you have 40 credits showing on your Social Security record, you're vested in the program and will receive some kind of benefit from Social Security. Obviously, the longer you've been paying into it, the more you've contributed, the more, more substantial the benefit will be. When we actually make a computation of the benefit, we're not going to look at just the last 10 years or the last 3 or 5 as in some pension programs. We're going to be looking at your entire earnings record. So we'll take all